Karoline Leavitt has reached a new low of disgustingness, and in a normal country, everyone would denounce this. During an interview on Fox News, Donald Trump's press secretary, Karoline Leavitt, said the Democrat Party's main constituency is made up of Hamas terrorists, illegal aliens, and violent criminals. Let's take a look.
Proved that the Democrat Party's main constituency are made up of Hamas terrorists, illegal aliens, and violent criminals. That is who the Democrat Party is catering to, not the Trump administration and not the White House and not the Republican Party, who is standing up for law-abiding Americans, not just across the country, but around the world.
So let's go through this. This is gross, obviously. Let's go through this sort of in order from micro to macro. In a normal country, saying something like that would end your career, and it should. In the United States, it gets you booked again next week. The Fox producers really liked the fiery nature of what she said. Let's have her back on next week. America's tolerance for open bigotry when it comes from the right wing is really something to behold. And this is a party that once claimed to be the party of family values, and now they are cheering dehumanizing propaganda. So it's not fringe. They've mainstreamed it in their movement. It's coming from Donald Trump's official spokesperson. Now, it's a calculated attempt to define Democrats not as fellow citizens, but as enemies. Those of you who understand the process of othering know exactly what the point is here. If Trump cracks down on dissent, it's more justified in the minds of others if these are barely humans and definitely our enemies. And Fox News gives people like Karoline Leavitt a platform to inject this into mainstream right-wing discourse, knowing that it moves the Overton window of how it's okay to talk about our political adversaries towards the direction of hate. The party whose leader tried to overthrow the government is now calling Democrats terrorists. The people who chanted "lock her up" and stormed the Capitol are saying there's violent criminals out there somewhere in the Democratic Party. It's projection on steroids. And this now gets us more broadly to how authoritarians use this type of language. Strategically, whether they realize it or not, labeling entire groups of Americans as terrorists and criminals, of course it's ugly and of course it's untrue, but it is conditioning the public to see political opponents as enemies of the state. If the Democrats aren't people like us, they're made up of terrorists, illegal aliens, and violent criminals, we don't really need to worry about whether they're allowed to vote. Because at the end of the day, they shouldn't be allowed to vote if they are that which Karoline Leavitt says they are. We don't need to worry about whether they are treated humanely in that situation. We don't need to worry about whether they are afforded due process because they're barely human. This is a classic authoritarian idea from some of the ugliest spots of 20th century authoritarianism. The Nazis labeled political opponents, especially communists and social democrats and labor union people, they labeled them terrorists and traitors after the Reichstag fire of 1933. Franco portrayed Republicans, doesn't mean like an American, we're not talking about Lindsey Graham here. The Republicans of the Franco era in Spain, they were labeled, the Republicans as well as socialists and anyone on the left was labeled violent and a godless enemy of Spain. And then with that, you can justify doing horrible things to them. Stalin's regime branded anyone critical of the government as the enemy of the people, which should sound very familiar to you, equating dissent with terrorism, which is what they're trying to do right now with the No Kings protests. So we have seen this playbook many times, and unfortunately, it is an ugly, ugly playbook that we need to be prepared for, and we need to know how to rebut.
I've been tracking my family tree for a long time now, and the service I've always relied on is MyHeritage, which I started using long before they became a sponsor. Trusted by over 90 million users, MyHeritage makes it easy and fun to build your family tree with a range of powerful genealogy tools at your fingertips. One of my favorite features lets you quickly find new family members and add entire new branches to your tree. It's always a good time to sit down with my family, show them what I found. For example, The other day, I found a scan of an immigration document from when my mother's uncle's aunt arrived at Ellis Island, or this document from the US-Canada border for my relative who was born in 1895. This is remarkable stuff and really interesting artifacts that are part of the puzzle of my family's past. MyHeritage gives you access to over 19 billion records like this, making it easier than ever for you to uncover amazing new pieces of your family's history. You can try MyHeritage completely free for 14 days when you go to davidpakman.com/myheritage. The link is in the description.